let's look at some other ways to control loops in JavaScript. So these are the two commands we're going to look at, break and continue. So break basically totally stops the loop. This could be a while loop, do while loop, for loop. Whatever the loop, if you say break, then your loop will completely stop permanently, okay? The other side of that is continue. It's not quite the same. That one just stops the current iteration. Remember, we use the word iteration when we have a loop. Okay, so let's have a look. This one is using break. It's a pretty simple example. Let's run it. So it asks you, okay, you have lots of bank accounts with different types, with different amounts of money. So how much is in this one? And then you keep entering your money and it will tell you the total. So how much is in this account? I don't know, maybe like $100. Press enter. Okay, how much in this account? Okay, another account, maybe $90, something like that. And you keep going and it will repeat. And you keep entering your sums of money. And eventually you just don't have any more money, no more bank accounts, so you just simply enter nothing. You press OK, and then it gives you the total. Your total amount is, and then it adds up all of those amounts, 270. So let's see how this example works. Let's go back to our presentation. So here's the code for that example, and we have a loop, and that loop keeps repeating forever. It says while true. There's no variable here. It just says while true. Now that is one way to do a loop that never ends. So we have a loop that never ends. So how can we end it? Well, the only way for this particular structure is to use break. Break will completely stop the loop and jump out of the loop and carry on with JavaScript code after the loop. All right, so in this particular example, somebody types in a number and then we convert it to a float just before we start adding it, and then we start adding it to another variable, total amount. Whatever they type in, whatever number, it keeps getting added. So we do plus equals to keep adding on top of the previous total. Now that's not very important for this example. What we're really looking at is this one here, break. So if what they type in, the number they type in, is a positive number, then we just keep adding. Otherwise, then they haven't entered a proper number bigger than 0. So that's the signal to stop the loop. So we simply stop the loop. Infinite loop never stops. Let's stop it with a break instruction. And then it jumps underneath and it carries on with the JavaScript. All right, so that's an example of break. And this is illustrating what we just saw. Type in a number, type in another number, type in nothing, so don't type anything, and just do OK, and then it comes up with the total. All right, continue. So continue skips the current iteration. We talk about iteration, right? A loop that keeps going round and round. Each one of those is called an iteration. Continue just stops the current iteration and jumps to the next iteration. It doesn't stop the loop permanently. The next example, we use this language array.push, so I just quickly explain it here, and that is push will add an item to the end of the array. Okay, that's what array.push is, not related to loops as such, just a line of code in this example. So here, what are we doing? An interesting kind of loop. Let's go through it. Okay, so it says, okay, 2014 was great for you. And you can choose, was it great, and you can give a positive response or a negative response. And you could say, okay, yes, that was great. 2015, was that a great year for you? Or, well, you could say, no, it wasn't that good, maybe. Cancel. 2016, was it great for you? Oh, yeah, maybe it was great. And then it shows a summary of your great years, the ones where you said, okay. Straightforward. Let's go back to our presentation. So this was illustrating a loop. And for this particular example, we used a for loop. Start with the year 2014. Go up to the year 2016. Keep adding 1 to the year. And then each time, show the message. Oh, was that year great for you? Get the result. It's either going to be true or false. If the result is not true, because that's what's happening here, if not correct. Correct is the result coming back from that little window, and it either is true or false. If it's not true, then skip this iteration of the loop and jump straight away to the next iteration of the loop. That is what this says here. So, in other words, if this was not a good year, then don't do this line of code. Instead, jump straight away to the next iteration to carry on with the next year. However, if that was a great year, then let's make a list of great years. Here we are, a little list of great years, a little array. Start with empty array, and then let's add that year to that array list. So we build up a list of great years. That's the idea. All right, so that's an example of continue. It doesn't permanently stop the loop. It just tells the browser to go to the next loop, okay, the next iteration. All right, so here's an illustration, 2014, okay, 2015, cancel, didn't like that year, 2016, good year, and then it shows a summary, 2014, 2016, and all of that was done using continue. So that's the end of our discussion of break and continue.